video, watch how Jay-Z quickly turned around when P. Diddy greeted Beyonce with a touch on her shoulder. Jay-Z came out of nowhere. This was at the Roc Nation brunch back in 2018.
You gotta go back now and say, why was the NFL continuing to support with all the confusion going on in the media? And maybe it's all of that found money right there.
And then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy?
If she is beyond reproach to you, you're worshiping her. When y'all put these people on these pedestals and not recognizing the worship that you're giving them, it sets you up for problems in the future. It is not white versus black, y'all. It is rich versus poor.
50 Cent is not letting up on the Carters at all. He's saying if you think the feds had receipts on Diddy, wait till you hear what they might have on his buddy Jay-Z. But it's not just Jay catching strays. Beyonce's name is floating around too, and the allegations are getting really serious. So did Beyonce know all along what was going on behind the scenes? And is there a RICO coming for Roc Nation too? Now everybody's asking the same thing. How deep does this whole thing really go? And what exactly is 50 hinting at when he brings up Beyonce's alleged connection to Diddy's RICO empire?
He was allegedly forced to appear in a mask. The lawsuit states, Jay-Z and Beyonce Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing Manzaro, Beyonce Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a mask standing here in front of me?"
So y'all know 50 Cent and Jay-Z have been throwing subliminals at each other for years. So none of this is new. But 50 has become more bold now that Diddy is locked up and his documentary has exposed everything. And now he's acting like he's sitting on some spicy receipts about Jay and Beyonce's rumored link to Diddy's crimes. And don't get it twisted. This new Diddy documentary isn't some quick idea 50 cooked up last week. This man has been planning decades to do this. If you remember 50 in the 2000s, he never liked Diddy, and he openly dragged both Diddy and Jay-Z every chance he got. And then the timing. 50 dropped the Diddy series just 2 days before Jay-Z's birthday. That is Olympic level pettiness. And a lot of people who watched the documentary are saying that Jay-Z is definitely not in the clear. If anything, folks feel like we haven't even started to hear about the skeletons in his closet. One user on X said, "I just know his time coming too." And he's probably way more sinister than Diddy is. And then someone else replied, "I definitely said the same thing when I watched the Diddy documentary. He is all around the same. Beyonce has been mute for years. He is definitely far more sinister. His time is coming." See, right when the Carters probably thought they were sailing past Diddy's legal hurricane, 50 reminded everyone about that lawsuit filed by a man who says he was at one of Diddy's parties and attacked. And the part that's making headlines, the man claims Beyonce saw him right before everything went down. According to the court documents obtained by People, the accuser, Joseph Manzaro, says his drink was spiked before he was taken to a house on Star Island in Miami for Christian Combs' birthday back in April 2015. Manzaro says the whole thing started at a house that at the time belonged to Gloria and Emilio Estefan. According to him, Gloria noticed he looked sick and told someone to call an ambulance, but Emilio allegedly stepped in and shut that down fast. He also claims he bumped into LeBron James in a hallway, and LeBron supposedly said, "Y'all better do something about that." From there, the lawsuit says he was taken through an underground tunnel to Diddy's mansion by former adult star Adria English, who's also listed in the case. Manzaro says that when he started to come to his senses, he realized he was in a room with Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's when Beyonce allegedly asked why there was a half-naked white man standing there with something strapped to his face. And according to Manzaro, someone in the room answered that it was a punishment and that Diddy wants him to see what we do to snitches. But the lawsuit goes even further. It claims that Diddy later ordered Manzaro to be embarrassed in front of the other party guests, and that he was eventually stripped and forced to wear a thong and had a black leather mask with a rubber dam forcibly inserted and zipped closed over his head. The lawsuit states a locking adult device was affixed to the mask, which protruded from his mouth. Plaintiff was then subjected to degrading acts. In his complaint, Manzaro described the event as a freak-off. Now, this is where things start looking extra suspicious for the Carters. Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, jumped in fast and shut the whole thing down, saying Jay wasn't even in Miami when all this allegedly went down. But here's the part that has everyone raising an eyebrow. Spiro only defended Jay. He didn't say a single word about Beyonce, though. But if you think this is wild, wait until you hear what former NFL player Larry Johnson had to say about this alleged party he says involved Jay-Z and Beyonce. According to Johnson, way back in the early 2000s, he went to a late-night rap party the Carters were hosting in Colorado. And he claims there were people there who definitely didn't look like adults, and that Beyonce supposedly made a comment that left him seriously uncomfortable.
Now, I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the winter time of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house. And we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework, but she brought her mother with her. So it was no funny business going on, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild, like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, you know, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me.
Now, if you're wondering how Larry Johnson would even know any of this, he and Jay-Z were actually pretty close at one point. Then out of nowhere, Jay cut him off completely. And the word is that fallout happened after Larry started pushing some controversial theories online. But there are still a ton of receipts showing that Larry Johnson and Jay-Z were tight back in the day. So close, in fact, that some insiders were speculating they might have been more than just friends. But this is a classic Jay move. He's got this habit of ghosting friends and then flipping the script on everyone, acting like he never even knew them. Remember when his name got dragged into that lawsuit from Jane Doe and his lawyer, Alex Spiro, rushed out to claim there was no friendship between Jay and Diddy?
In a new interview with NBC, Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro spoke about the relationship between the two moguls. From images of them together at many events to how they highly spoke about each other, one may think that a close bond exists between Jay and Puff. However, according to Spiro, the two have never shared a real friendship or long-time bond.
But even though Jane Doe's claims about Jay-Z were dismissed, there's no way he can seriously deny he and Diddy were close, unless Jay's definition of friendship is totally different from the rest of ours. I mean, let's be real. Nothing here is adding up. Diddy straight up called Jay his extended family and said he was his strategist, the first guy he calls when trouble hits. So yeah, that's friendship, no matter how Jay tries to spin it.
And this is the extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs.
Yes, sir.
Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother. It's B.I.G.'s brother.
Yes, sir.
It's Brooklyn's own Brooklyn. So I appreciate you. He came 5,000 miles away to come here to Brooklyn to represent the B.I.G. Make some noise for her.
And let's not forget that clip where Diddy revealed Jay skipped Blue Ivy's recital just so he could headline Bad Boy's 20th anniversary show.
Recital that he has to be at the Blue. But I reached out to him and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy celebrating 20 years of hits.
So Jay's out here saying that him and Diddy were never friends. Meanwhile, he skipped a huge moment in his daughter's life just to perform for Diddy, but you don't consider him your friend? And of course, 50 Cent wasn't gonna let that slide. Just one day after Diddy's homes got raided last year, 50 posted a pic of Jay on a milk carton, basically implying Jay went MIA for a reason. 50 wrote in the caption, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL, Puff said he ain't answering his phone. LOL." He also shared this photo of Jay waving on the red carpet, tweeted and wrote, "Here is Jay-Z, last reported, seen waving at Puffy's jet, LOL." And then 50's ride or die, Tony Yayo, jumped into the mix during a Vlad TV interview, calling out how fast Jay-Z is rewriting history and acting like he and Diddy were never close.
Because now Jay is saying, yo, this not my man, which is kind of weird.
Right. They're saying
y'all
they have a close
you see him at
relationship.
mad parties together, but look at it, right? Really think about it. Diddy only go to them, to what's that? He have his brunch, he be having, right?
The Roc Nation brunch.
Diddy go to that. You
Yeah.
see Diddy go to that.
Yeah.
And Jay, and then Diddy will have an all-white party and Jay go to that.
Jay goes to that.
So it's like the same parties they go to.
But don't sleep on Beyonce either. Remember when DaBaby said the first time he met her was at Diddy's house?
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020.
There's also tons of evidence showing Beyonce at Diddy's parties, plus videos of Diddy himself talking about just how tight he was with Beyonce and her family. In fact, when Jay and Beyonce welcomed their twins in 2017, Diddy called it a huge moment for their inner circle. Like, he wasn't just a guest, he was practically family in his own eyes.
I mean, all over the world, people have been talking. I don't know if the twins, Beyonce and Jay.
Yeah.
I know that you are pretty close to them.
Yes.
I wonder, have you been able to reach out? Have you been able to say anything to them?
Definitely. It's a big moment for like our whole crew, our whole inner circle.
But what do you think about all this? Does Beyonce know more about Diddy's mess than she's admitting? Was she just a bystander? Or was she actually involved in something shady that's yet to be exposed? Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you don't miss this next video.